As many of you already know, I'm a huge fan of coffee, and someone has really kindly donated 2 bags of coffee to me. So in today's video, I'll be trying these 2 bags of coffee and sharing my thoughts on them. So the beans come all the way from a brewery in Thailand called something, let me check. It's called Coff Nature, like coffee, C-O-F-F, and according to their Instagram page, they are a micro roaster based in North Thailand. I haven't been told a lot about these beans, so I still don't know too much about them, other than the fact that one is roasted slightly darker than the other. So without further ado, let's give it a try. So the coffee has been brewed filter style because that's the style of coffee I've been drinking most often, and I don't actually have the means to do great espresso at home. Cheers! So the overall flavor of the coffee is pretty decent. It's fruity, it's dark, it's roasted. There's not much else to say about it actually. Despite being slightly darker roasted, you can taste the fruitiness and the overall refreshingness, I guess, for lack of a better word, from this particular cup. Now I know many of you don't associate coffee with refreshing or fruity, and that's because you've been drinking shit coffee from certain establishments, so maybe stop doing that. So the thing about filter coffee, I guess espresso and other kinds of non-milk based drinks is that the milk isn't present to mask the other flavors of the coffee. Now this is important because it lets you taste the underlying characteristics of whatever drink you're drinking. Now interestingly enough, it's actually roasted darker than the other bag, but despite this, the darker notes don't exactly overpower the overall fruitiness of the coffee. Now I don't exactly have a specific fruit descriptor for this coffee because it can be quite, I would say mellow, but the closest I can think of is I guess peaches, apricots. In terms of overall body, this coffee is fairly full bodied, so you won't exactly feel like you're drinking water. However, since it's a slightly darker roast, I find that some of the more complex flavors could be masked by the overall roasting process. So it's not exactly the clearest of coffee in terms of overall taste profile. On to the next cup. So this is from the second bag of beans, which is a slightly lighter roast. As you can see from the color, I hope you can see, it's, well, considerably lighter, and I guess I would also expect the taste to be a bit lighter, so let's give it a try. So right off the bat, this particular coffee has a lot more clarity than the previous cup of coffee. As per my predictions, this cup of coffee is considerably lighter and is, well, a lot clearer in terms of taste. You're getting a lot more of the citrus fruits coming out from here, like oranges, peaches, that sort of flavor once again, but without the overall darker charred notes from a darker roast. Now it's almost like a chocolate infused iced lemon tea without the sugar, which is actually very pleasantly surprising. It's not as full-bodied as the other bag, which is not a bad thing. This makes it a lot more smashable, if that makes sense. And I guess I would gravitate towards coffees, or I do gravitate towards fruitier coffees, so I would gravitate more towards this particular style of coffee. I feel that this is a coffee that might be better served as a iced coffee because it's so fruity. I'm thinking it would be quite interesting to make a coffee-infused sort of fruity cocktail using this particular coffee, because I feel there are certain alcohols that might, or that will go pretty well with this particular flavor profile. Overall, both coffees are actually pretty decent, but it really depends on your preference. If you're someone who prefers a darker roast, then obviously go for a darker roast. Despite being a earthier blend, you're still able to get some of the citrus notes from the particular beans. I, on the other hand, prefer lighter roasts, something a bit more refreshing, something more fruity, so I naturally gravitate towards the lighter roast. So, based off these 2 coffees, I will say that Coff Nature seems to put in a great deal of care when it comes to procuring as well as roasting their beans. So I will say it's worth checking them out and giving them a shot. But that's all for today. If you enjoyed the video or learned something new, remember to like and subscribe and to share the video. Also, if there's a dish or recipe you'd like to learn, or a particular product or food you'd like me to review, let me know in the comments down below. But for now, I'll say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.